Hey folks, Joe DeSanto here. Thank you for joining me in another video. So, wanted to make a short video just talking about some clarification of terminologies. Cryptocurrency in the whole world can be confusing because there are a lot of terms that are used either interchangeably or incorrectly interchangeably. I think the main terms that are thrown around that could use some clarification for people are one, cryptocurrency in general, that term versus digital currency, and are those two things the same? Coins and, more specifically altcoins, the term blockchain in general and like how it's different, than cryptocurrency or like, where it fits into the whole concept. So let's start out with cryptocurrency and digital currency. So cryptocurrency, Bitcoin's a cryptocurrency, right? So a currency meaning we are assigning it value, not unlike the dollar. We believe that the dollar has value because we believe it. We believe that it's backed by the U.S. government, and that means something. But it's no longer backed by a physical asset. So there really is it is a kind of a trust system. Bitcoin's no different. I mean, Bitcoin basically there is no particularly value for Bitcoin except people think it's valuable and people are willing to use it as a store of value these days. So it's a currency to a degree, just like the dollar's a currency. However, to be a cryptocurrency, or that getting that moniker means that it is created, exchanged, traded, and a record of it is kept using blockchain technology, which essentially blockchain has an element of cryptography in it, which makes it difficult to alter, essentially alter, I guess, alter the record thereof. So if it's a cryptocurrency of any kind, it's utilizing some kind of blockchain technology. A digital currency is kind of a strange term in that digital currency kind of has existed. You could say that digital currency is when you have a record of currency you own that's in digital form. Like, your bank balance is in digital form because you go log in and you look at it, and really a record of it is kept, on the bank's, computer system. And essentially what's assigning the fact that you have money in your bank account is a digital version of our currency. However, it's not a US based, digital coin or US based cryptocurrency. Those things are potentially in the making by every, government currently. Like, should we turn what we now use as a dollar, should there be a digital coin version of that we can have in a digital wallet and go buy things with? Whereas right now, essentially, you have to use a bank, really, I guess, in order to buy things with your digital version of your currency holdings. So, interesting, kind of distinction there, particularly with understanding what is a digital currency. But I guess more specifically there, we know that a cryptocurrency is a currency that relies at least on blockchain technology to exist, be traded, and its value be assigned to one person or another. That does lead into the question of, well, what is blockchain technology? I have another video about Bitcoin and blockchain and so on, so if you want a little bit more in depth about that. But blockchain is essentially the technology or the ecosystem, I like to even say, on which something like a Bitcoin lives. And it's gotten more confusing over time because originally when it was just Bitcoin, blockchain was the technology that allowed us to go mine the Bitcoin, I guess, out of what, the blockchain algorithms or whatever. But then also the blockchain is essentially a record. You could think about it as like a giant spreadsheet that has all the information about who owns this Bitcoin and who owns this Bitcoin and who traded this Bitcoin to whom, who's mining the Bitcoin, how much should they mine, all that information. You could just think, I like to think about it on a giant spreadsheet, but that spreadsheet is held on thousands of validator computers that are on the ecosystem. And it is a technology that is basically hard to infiltrate, hard to change. It, with all the different validators, you have basically a record that's open to the public that anyone can see and anyone can tap into if you know what you're doing using the blockchain explorer. So the blockchain is the ecosystem under which, the cryptocurrency is created, shared, exchanged, traded, bought, sold, and so on. So the blockchain itself is not the currency. The currency is essentially the coin that is mined and then traded and shared and so on. So the last thing I wanted to mention is altcoins. So altcoins are confusing because you're like, well, is Bitcoin a cryptocurrency or is it a coin? Or the term coin is essentially, I guess, almost a symbol of the cryptocurrency. So Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. It's a currency that lives on a blockchain, so that's why it gets to be called a cryptocurrency. But essentially is represented in coins, 1, 2, 3, 4 coins, 1 Bitcoin, 2 Bitcoin, 3 Bitcoin. Now it's kind of funny because you can buy like 0.0000124, like fraction of a coin. So it's like one coin is very rarely traded like a penny would be, but that essentially the term coin still, relates to Bitcoin. Now, after Bitcoin came Litecoin and then Ethereum and then a whole bunch of other quote unquote coins. We tend to use the term altcoins to represent every other coin besides Bitcoin. And I mean, that really, it's kind of makes it a bit of a useless term because, it's just like altcoins, anything that's not Bitcoin. But it is kind of, even though I don't think it was like, meant to really just, have only that meaning, there is a pretty great distinction at this point between Bitcoin and altcoins because Bitcoin really was built and designed just to be a currency, and the blockchain network and technology that's built on, was only really meant to do that. Ethereum came along essentially and said, hey, this is cool technology. We could do more things with this, but we really can't do more things with this version of this cool technology. We're going to go make our own cool version of this technology, our own blockchain. And on it, we're going to make it so you can have smart contracts or add additional functionality, additional sets of instructions, additional use cases for this whole ledger and validator system of technology. And the altcoin, essentially craze started from there. So altcoins can be anything from blockchains themselves, new ecosystems that are different than the Bitcoin blockchain, like Ethereum, like Solana, like Polkadot. But then they can also, anybody can make a coin. You can make a coin for yourself, and you would be an altcoin. I don't know if anyone would buy the coin that represents you. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But now a lot of the coins, that technically you could say are a cryptocurrency, they're really more like stocks in the ecosystem, the blockchain ecosystem that is, Ethereum or Solana or whatever. Those are almost like the markets where we're trading these stocks, kind of like the public stock market. So it's kind of evolved into being a little bit like that. And a lot of these coins that I would say are stocks, it's like these are companies that are trying to create new use cases, new companies, and that can utilize the blockchain for interesting purposes. And a lot's happening in the video game space. There's now a lot happening in the AI space. I mean, there's stuff happening in real estate space. Every sector of our world is looking at the blockchain ecosystem technologies to do either existing things that we do, but do them better, more efficiently, whatever, or do new things. And that whole thing has become known as Web 3.0. It's almost like a new internet that is based on blockchain technology that allows us to do all these new functions, that'll be beneficial for us, and potentially new products, even new inventions, whatever, that can take advantage of this interesting technology that Bitcoin, I feel like, inadvertently created, Web 3.0. I don't know that they were setting out to do that, but, invention is built on top of invention is built on top of invention. And Web 3.0, essentially, I guess, an invention that came out of the blockchain ecosystem that Bitcoin was created with and to exist within. So there you go. I hope that helped clarify some things. Who knows? Maybe it just created more questions for you. But that would make sense because there's so many interesting things to learn about the cryptocurrency Web 3.0 world that we are now starting to live in. So let me know if you have any questions, and check out my website if you like, playlouder.com, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.